to talk about the compound effects of putting the time in. So today is my birthday, and I'm recording this because I want to, and I've decided that actually it could be quite enjoyable to share some knowledge. So I've been grinding away for a few years now, and it's only within the past few months that I've been starting to get some results with my music, with my online marketing, friendships, work. Is I've put a lot of time in to try and create a long-term investment in myself. Essentially, I'm being very mindful about how I'm using the hours in my day. So if we are talking about music, for instance, let's say you're creating this album and you have no clue whatsoever. Relax. You have no clue how to make this album, right? You've got a couple of bits of kit or a couple of tools and you want to get recording ASAP. But let's say you don't even know what notes to play. You literally don't know anything. You might have heard a Kanye song online and heard some gospel choir or a cool, maybe you heard a car going up the street, going across your headphones. You know, that some interesting sound that tickled your fancy. So the compound interest of putting the time in. Sorry, I'm eating some nuts at the moment. By putting in the time, we essentially don't notice the results at first. Often it can feel absolutely futile. It really can. So, and it makes you think, oh, maybe I should not do this and go to the pub, or maybe I should not do this and go watch a movie. But again, when you've got these huge dreams, I spoke about this a bit in my imposter video that I put on YouTube, imposter syndrome. When you've got these dreams and you don't explore them and you don't invest in them and put your time and your soul into them, it will drown you in the long run far more than if you gave it a go. You have to respect yourself and love yourself and live your dream. You know, people wonder why they don't feel like they do when they were a child. When you were a child, you were filled with dreams. You had no doubts that that was what you were going to be, whether it was going to be an astronaut, whatever. So what's happened now? We've got used to the world we live in. We get told we do this, we do that, and we receive this. And often a lot of people doing this, so like 9 to 5, anything like that. That, you know, they come home and the only thing they can do is escape, and they escape by consuming. I'm not criticizing, by the way. You know, we all have really, really hard days and a long time at work. People try and consume to escape. You know, whether it be watching a film, going out and drinking, partying. I think in moderation these things are fine, but you have to decide that for yourself, of course. However, if you put some or quite a lot of that time into a passion project or a side business, you know, when you first decide to commit to this process, it can feel extremely uplifting, absolutely phenomenal, because you're essentially loving yourself. You're saying, no, I'm worth more than this. I want to put some time into creating something else in my life, a different kind of space, and who knows, that might even lead to some more freedom in the long run. I know people at the moment that are doing, you know, all sorts of things online, and they're creating incomes, or they're opening doors, they're networking, they're creating friendships, falling in love, whatever. There's so many things you can do in your spare time. So I think the second feeling is when you start investing time in yourself. However, you know, whether it's a hustle or whatever, until you actually get the success from it, it can be a bit of a, almost like a slap in the face. You can stand there and be like, maybe I should have just gone out and lived in the moment and partied, or gone up to Scotland, and that does sound very good. And don't get me wrong, I think as I've been doing this, I've realised you can do a bit of that stuff as well. But you can do work and your passion project anywhere if you're creative enough. You really can. When we bring this back to music, for instance, you've got, let's say you want to make a track and you don't know how to create a melody, but as we were saying, you were inspired by this new Kanye gospel sound, or the sound of streetcars, or the rain. Okay, if you don't know how to make a melody, you probably do know how to record some rain, right? If you can get a microphone, look up how to use a microphone. You could record a rain track. You could record the sound of people chattering, and sometimes these sounds are the inspiration for something big. They really can be. I've taken tracks from my dad's email where he's just been talking about music to someone else, and he's just been literally a voice note, and I've sampled that and I've put that into a disco track, and without that voice note the track wouldn't have existed. And I'm telling you now, if you do these things and wildly explore and wildly create, even if you're stumbling into it blindly, yes, then eventually you will develop and grow the confidence to be able to sustain yourself and keep pushing forward and into creating something really beautiful. So keep trying, and over time, these things start to compound. You have small, tiny results from potentially years ago that can reap a dividend or a gift in some unexpected way later down the line. So just keep stacking up these creative ventures. At the moment, I'm recording an album for White Noise and Sleep, and the melody for that is almost essentially non-existent. I'm just recording the weather around. I mean, I was talking about wanting to also live in the moment. I'm traveling at the moment, and I'm working where I'm staying at the moment for a day or two, and at the same time, it's very easy when the weather changes. I just record the rain. I record the White Noise album, and it's very little time on my part. It's carefully thought about and considered and arranged, but it's not too much effort, and it might not amount to anything. But there's albums out there that have completely popped off that are just essentially the sounds of street noise. So you can create anything you want, and there will always be someone who appreciates it, even if it's yourself or the other 8 billion people on the planet. So yeah, just keep creating. Over a longer period of time, it always pays off. It's just about putting the time in and having a good attitude. um you'll have days where you don't want to do things. Do them anyway. It's your duty to yourself and to the world, to improving the world and improving your own life, and getting the dreams that you want and have developed ever since you were a kid. Cool.